Hello, good morning, guys. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I am late for my work, but niko hapa kushare very briefly. And the topic of the day is on forgiveness. So I would love to read for you guys a parable from the book of Mathew, chapter 18. So, hey, okay, I'm trying to hold the phone and it is shaking. Matthew chapter 18, verse 23, and it says, "Therefore the kingdom of heaven can be compared to a king who decided to bring his accounts up to date with servants who had borrowed money from him. In the process, one of his debtors was brought in who owed him millions of dollars. He couldn't pay, so his master ordered that he be sold, along with his wife, his children, and everything he owed, to pay the debt. But the man, yo guys, tani support kidogo because I hope that's better." But the man fell down before his master and begged him, "Please be patient with me, and I will pay it all." Then his master was filled with pity for him, and he released him and forgave his debt. But when the man left the king, he went to a fellow servant who owed him a few $1,000. He grabbed him by the throat and demanded instant payment. His fellow servant fell down before him and begged, "For a little more time, be patient with me, and I will pay it," he pleaded. But his creditor wouldn't wait. He had the man arrested and put in prison until the debt could be paid in full. When some of the other servants saw this, they were very upset. They went to the king and told him everything that had happened. The king called in the man he had forgiven and said, "You evil servant, I forgave you that tremendous debt because you pleaded with me. Shouldn't you have mercy on your fellow servant, just as I had mercy on you?" Then the angry king sent the man to prison to be tortured until he paid his entire debt. That's what my heavenly Father will do if you refuse to forgive your brother and sister from your heart. So trust God to send you a message when you're going through something, because for me, I was going through a time of unforgiveness. I had so much resentment in my heart. Julikuwa na feel kuna wase wamenikosea kia nani. Hey. And you know the thing about me, mimi nitakusamea mara ya kwanza, mara ya pili, mara ya tatu, but itafika tu mahali nikichoka, now it's cutting off. And I was so I was holding unforgiveness in my heart, and I was becoming bitter. And this message came in timely because now, after reading this parable, for me, this king is like God. God forgives us of so many sins that we do, because as the parable said, this servant owed the master like so much money, but the servant, after he pleaded with his master, the master forgave him. So this is like us. On a day-to-day basis, we do things that are not pleasing, we do things that are offensive to God, but we still can go back to him and ask for forgiveness, and he is faithful enough to forgive us. And so I just wonder kama God angekuwa like the merciful God he is, because we fall short of his glory. We fall short of his glory day in, day out. Even for me, as a person who has matured in their faith, I still sin, and najiulizanga kama mkutano, najiambia sasa mimi hivi vile napenda Mungu, hivi vile na study the word, hivi vile nangana kusikiza someone just to grow my spirit man. I still sin. It's so sad to say, but I still do sin. And I can just imagine how many prayers I have made, the same kind of prayers. God forgive me for this, God forgive me for this thing, and I keep on doing it, and God is faithful enough to forgive me each and every time. So he calls us to have the same attitude, to forgive those who offend us. And you know, forgiveness is not an easy thing, and especially when someone offends you and they haven't apologized and they're just going about their lives like nothing has happened, and you have to ujite mkutano uambe tu Mungu, God, remove this offense from my heart and help me to forgive this person, na umove on na maisha yako. Hata ukiona huyu mtu utakuwa unamwangalia na uchungu, it's not an easy thing, it's not, because sometimes tunasemanga tu na mdomo that we have forgiven people, but you see the Bible calls us to forgive from the heart. Na forgive from the heart, it's not ile forgiveness yenye unasema I forgive you lakini nakuombea karma ikufanyie ile maneno, ama unasema I leave vengeance to God, like God deal with this person. I think forgiving from the heart is you forgive and you want the best intentions for this person. You want the best intentions for this person, and you pray for them and you let it go and you release it from your heart. Utashinda ukimwona unakasirika tena afresh, no. So that is what I learned and I wanted to share with you. God calls us to forgive from our hearts, and he says mtu akikukosea unamforgive. Hiyo video imekuwa cut off na someone who is calling me na anyway, the Bible calls us to forgive from our hearts, and hata mtu akikukosea many times you still forgive this person over and over again. That is what God calls us to do. So yeah, that is my challenge to you guys today. Think about it. Do you forgive from your heart, ama unakwanga ule msewa nimekuforgive lakini we karma ikufanyia ile maneno, karma isikuachilie vile umenifanya hata wewe kufanyikia times 2. So yeah, hii video imekuwa cut off so many times, but I hope you have taken something from the message that I've shared, and have a good day. Bye guys.